Ladies and gentlemen, no, rescue space pirates out there, hello? And why do you wave like you did that again? That's weird. Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers, the road to better building. And today starts the official episode 1 as we build the first ship that I had originally designed that episode 0 was kind of based on. So we're going to get started today. I've got a couple of mods installed. I will try to remember to put those in the description below. And we're going to get started with a shape and design that I had started with based solely around, and we find it. Where is it at in here? Let's see here, weapons and tools. Right there, Little David. Based solely around Little David. Let me get back into my body here. Bam. With the idea that this is its main front battery. Single shot, big gun. And I got an idea of the general shape, much like the Mako, which I have named it previously, which was the ship in episode 0. I want this to be the front gun, and we're going to build back off of this in yon direction, but I kind of want a mirrored version of it off to the side because I have something else planned for this particular ship. So I'm going to go ahead and get my toolbar set up, and I'm going to begin a little bit of building, and let's see what kind of shapes we come out with. Alright, hopefully y'all can tell a difference in the audio quality. I got myself a new mic with a nice little screen on it, and hopefully it comes out a little better. Currently don't have my air conditioner on either, so that should help out with overall quality as well. So first things first, let's throw us a simple block down to get started, and throw a superficial number out way out here out of the way, which it should mirror at that distance, maybe. But let's find out. Now, and I did not even pay attention to how many blocks I put down. Alright, here's the center. Now, turn this on, and that's what we want right there. Now, if we come down here, let's see if it mirrors proper at that distance. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Does it? Can I not place this down here? There we go. Let's put that there, and yeah, it does. Good. Now, I think, where's my little piece of paper here? I got my little cheat sheet here, and we have roughly 7 blocks in the main gun snout. So let's go ahead and get our conveyor blocks out. And let's get the full length of the ship mapped out all the way down the center. Alright, so that's going to be about 37 blocks long total. And I have a kitty trying to climb up my pant leg. So let's carry this back roughly 36, because number 37 will be the actual gun on the end. And there's going to be the general length of the ship. Relatively small. But that's okay, because that's kind of what I'm going for. Now, let's go ahead and pretty up the front of the ship where we know we're not going to have anything else. And what I'm going to experiment with today is actually not using shields and trying to create something that doesn't have paper thin single layer armor. Because that's not good. That's not good at all. That's actually really, really bad. And one of the flaws in the ship that I built in episode 0 is it essentially had paper thin armor, but we were having the shield mod in game, so I didn't really worry about that too much. However, in this build, shield mod is not installed because I don't plan on using it. I want this to be a little more of a, well, not vanilla build because of some of the mods I have installed. I don't want any of those weird overpowered mods like shields, because, yeah, Got to learn to build better, not rely on mods for our ships. Alright. So I'm going to finish getting this out, and I'm going to bring this shape, the simple shape that it is, out right about here, and I'll bring you right back. Alrighty. And there is the very nose of our ship, all in heavy armor. And something I'm already noticing, it's gonna take me a while to get used to having this mic in my face as opposed to just using the one on my headset. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to do some modifications to my desk to get it out of the way, because now my keyboard is in an odd position. But yay, we're not gonna worry about that right now. What we need to do here now is build out on this shape. Now we're going to use some light armor on the edges here, here, and here. Because we don't want all heavy armor on the outside of it. In fact, at a certain point I'll be building with light armor on the inside with some dead air and heavy armor plating on the outside of it. And I'll show you what I mean when I get to that point. Or I could show you right now. Let me get set up here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean for those who do not know. An experienced builder already knows, but I'm kind of experimenting with this because I don't build like this often. Alright, so we're back. And this is basically what I mean with dead air in between. Essentially what we'll have is the actual ship inner walls here. This is where you would be standing if you're inside the ship. On the other side of this is the actual hull with room for piping on the inside if you needed it, or as we're doing here, just more dead air with some heavy armor on the outside plating it. And what you can do is keep the majority of your heavy armor, or at least this is what I'm going to do on this, that's what I'm going to try to do on this. Keep a majority of the heavy armor kind of around your vital areas, where your engine is, where your bridge is, your living quarters, and you can leave the rest of it in dual layer here with just light armor if you needed to, with some decoys in between to kind of keep gunshot and gunfire away from, you know, your vital areas. And that's what we're going to try to do on this ship. I've seen some people use this. I think it's kind of a cool idea. I see a lot of it used decoratively. Well, we're going to see if we can use it functionally. And I hope to use that near the back of the ship here. This is where the engineering, power, and everything else is going to be. And the rest of the ship up front will either be all heavy armor like this, or light armor with a single dead air and heavy armor in between. And you'll see what I'm doing, see what I mean as I begin to build. So let's get rid of this and continue what we were doing down here. And that would be, let's see here, we need to go to, I believe, 4? Yeah. And we're still in the heavy armor because that's what I need. And we're basically just going to pick this shape up by one block. And I'm not going to force you to watch me do that all the way around. And I did that wrong here. Let's back down to right there. There we go. Right there. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that all the way around and continue that shape down a little bit further. And then we'll come back and hopefully begin working on the bigger section down there. Alright, before I finish this shape out that way, I am realizing that this may be a good place to shove some of our engineering. In particular, the primary repulsors for our stopping and side-to-side motion. So, let's go into here and find the repulsors. I don't know where the repulsors are. I'm pretty sure I put them in, or did I? I did. There they are. Okay. So let's go into here and start this right here. And is that already facing the right way? Yes. So let's bring these out, about 9 of them on either side for our stopping power. And it's not going to be all of our stopping power. It's going to be just a little bit of it. It's kind of tucking it in like that so we know what we got. And in fact, to make sure we have plenty of stopping power, let's go ahead and continue this on the top and bottom as well. Because what I'm building here has more of a science fantasy flavor to it. And I don't want a whole lot of thrusters actually showing. So, let's go ahead and build this in. And yes, I'm using light armor here, because it's going to be behind heavy armor. And again, we don't want to use heavy armor if we don't have to, on account of we want this thing kind of fast. It's going to be kind of a strike ship, a hit and run. I don't really want to spoil what I have planned for the ship as to why I'm mirroring it over there. Because I want that to be a surprise when I go to building that bit. Okay, I'm going to finish putting in the blocks here and I'll bring you back. Okay, and there we go. And I may come back after we are done with the general outside flavor of this and kind of tidy up the shape a little bit, give it a little more definition. Not sure how just yet, but we may come back and do that. And now what we're left with is inside a little more room if we want to put some more repulsors, but I may actually finish this out with the up, down, left, and right repulsors. So that is something we may leave there. But right now, we have just reached a point where we will be building out into the main body now. I'm realizing just how short this ship is going to be. I actually intended this to be a little longer, but this might be okay. So, and just like last time, we're going to grab us a block. There, 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 there. And we're going to pull it out with the angled block one more time. Alright, let's try that again. Without kittens crawling up my pant leg. Where'd my block go? Right there. So if we continue that shape around here, how many blocks interior does that give us? Well, it gives us... how high here? 5 high? That's actually plenty height. That's plenty high enough for just about any block in the game. So that's not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the bulk shape out here. And then we'll bring you back. And then we'll figure out what's going on in the inside of it. Okay. So there's the main inner hull of the body. Because this is a relatively small ship, I won't be using the 3 layers like I initially showed. I'll be just using 2, and it will be all heavy armor. Except for anything on the inside that I need to make a wall, I'll be using light armor for that. So what I need to do now is consider a handful of things. What kind of guns do I want to put on the outside of this? Because what's going to happen, and this is what convinced me to do this, is when D-Swank was telling me about how basically with the ship's bridge being offset to the side of this side essentially acts like a shield and or gun wall. And that's what we're going to do with that. So I'll be able to put up to a 3x3 on here, because what's going to happen is I will be placing a single block along here. And, you know, whatever, I'm just going to place these down. And we're going to have a base wall here, 3 wide. Not attached to it, it'll be off the wall with some dead air in the middle. And I'll be continuing that shape here up and over and around it about halfway, if not partially encompassing it. Just kind of give it a neat design on top of that. And what that'll do is that'll give us a bit of a shield wall and a place to put some bigger guns on this. And I may do the same thing over here in more of a rib design just for some flavor, and a place to put some other guns. So I'm going to put this shape down, and then we will figure out where we start piping up our guns. We're going to figure out what guns we want to use. So let's go ahead. I said get rid of this. Why didn't you listen to me? There we go. Get rid of that. Now, I know structurally we shouldn't use these, but I think I want to. If for no other reason, again, for an aesthetic flavor to it, a bit of a shape to it. Okay. So that makes for a pretty neat little shield design here, and I think what I'll do is go ahead and fill these in here. Like that. Ew. Why is this... What happened here? Oh, that's what happened here. Stupid blocks. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave that in there just like it is. And that'll allow me to put guns on the outside here as well. And I think that actually makes for a pretty cool shape. Now, I realize that these, again, these pylons here, these pillars, right, interior pillars, they probably don't have a whole lot of actual structural stability. And I just put those in for now because they do give it a little more aesthetic flavor. For actual combat, I would replace these with more standard armor, of course. And I probably will do that before the build is over with. But let's see, let me check my time real quick. Okay, we still got us a good hour to go in this build session. So I think what I'm going to do, since I've gotten this far with it, I will go ahead and figure out what guns I want to use on the outside here. That means I need to cut this out inside here, which is also where my guns will go. Not my guns, my thrusters. And we'll figure out how we want to do the engineering. Now this ship, originally, what I designed this ship for, or how I designed it, is basically a standalone ship, and the idea I had for mirroring it over here is I had this idea of actually having at least 6 of these ships attached to a larger jump ship, and they would act as a gunnery array around it, either manned or drone driven. So you essentially have like 6 little Davids pointing in whatever direction you'd need it to, conceptually anyway. And I may still try to do that. I just don't know how it's going to work out with this design going the way it's going. That may end up being another project for another day. So let's see about thrust. Let's go ahead, before we go ahead and do our guns, let's see about thrust real quick. So I think I have, yeah. I'm not going to use hydrogen thrusters on the account that this ship is never going to be seeing, what would you call that? Planet side. And this is 2x3 wide. Yes, it is. Damn it all. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That's going to be a problem. No, maybe not. Let's go ahead and cut out here what we need. And go back to here. Flip you around like that. And what I can do is the smaller thrusters. Again, we want a lot of oomph. We'll do that. And we'll do that in a year or 2, maybe? Maybe. Let's do that. And that. And that should give it quite a bit of forward thrust. I don't know if that's going to be enough, and when I put the bridge on the side here, we may have room to tuck some more thrusters in. So, ship, guns, things of that nature. Cut that out so I can get inside. And let's look at our gun selection. Not that. Get out of there. Get out of there. Thank you. Let's get rid of little David since we got that. I don't know if these guns are actually working, because I think the last time we played with them, me and D-Swank, they were acting weird. So let's look at the size of these. I think that one's going to be too big. I think that one might be just right, actually. Let's look at that. Whoa, yeah, that's huge. That's way too big. That's way too big. Alright, so this one, and this one need to go. It's these 3 here. Nope, not that one. These 3 here that we're looking at, and that's going to be too big for that side, so it's going to be these 2 here and here. So we have some side point defense guns, and I think those are going to be way too big. I think it's these that we need. Yeah, that one. We got little David on there, and that's for small ships only. So let's see about this. So the main side here, I'm going to want these. And I should be able to make that work. Bam. 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 So 3 guns there. Which that's not too bad. If we come up to the top here and go with these, I can put 2 of them there and there. And I think these side guns here would go great here. I'm not sure how these go. Can these go in like this? Yes, they can. And there we go. And that gives us quite a bit of side destruction there. Now, I think what we might did here. Let me stop and think about something real quick, and I'll be right back.